very interesting circumstance, I'll say for sure, with all this stuff going on. Talk a little bit about your season right now, what you've been doing to prepare, how COVID has kind of affected all that kind of stuff, and how you've kept your confidence slash your workout, I guess, regimen during this tough times for sure.
Yeah, so I think we've got some pretty good news recently for our conference about we're gonna have some meets in mid-April and then going into the beginning of May. So really looking forward to that. And it's I've been training since the summer, like I told you last time I was on the podcast. But I tried to keep that up. I had a kind of an injury in between that, like a little like a calf Achilles injury. I had to go to physical therapy and stuff. So that was a little bit tough, but that's been my only kind of bad luck with running. I love running, and it's tough when you run all those miles. The injuries do creep up here and there, but yeah, I'm just right now currently I'm just trying to build back up my mileage. Uh, as a cross country runner, it's just trying to build up the stamina, get ready for those long distance races, and most likely when I was talking to my coach a little bit last time, a few practices ago, I might be running some shorter races than I usually do. I usually run like 5K races, and I might be doing closer to a mile. So I love the new challenge. Obviously, sometimes when you're in the middle of that 5,000 meter race, you're like, why did I choose this? Why am I not an 800-meter runner? But I'm looking forward to the new challenges coming up.
So explain for people how the training's different, because I know with at least the short distance race, you're gonna have to have at least more speed on you, right? As I mean, look, I obviously know for a 5K race, you gotta be fast regardless, but that's more about stamina than as opposed to speed with a 1 mile race or at least even sprints. So just explain kind of how your training regimen's changed a little bit as the coaches kind of brought that new idea up for you.
Yeah, sure. So, when I talked to my coach, it's like I said, I'm coming back from that injury, so I don't want to build up my mileage back too quickly because then I don't want to re-injure myself again. So it's right now we kind of decided, and I I always think it's best to listen to my coach about this because he knows more than me. So we were saying that just trying to, like you said, Mike, like building up the speed and stuff in those like when we have speed workouts rather than going for those like really long runs that I go for. Like last semester I was going for like 15-mile runs every Sunday. I don't think I'm gonna be doing that just yet, but uh right now with like the speed and stuff, when we'll try to get the snow off the track, do a lot of like speed strides and like 200-meter or 800-meter repeats, stuff like that, just to get that speed up for those shorter distance races.
Yeah, no, that's definitely exciting. But talk again a little bit for people who don't understand, like how competitive the NE10 is, and even when you have these races in April, talk a little bit about kind of just that feeling of like I get to go back and compete against. Obviously, I know you go against other schools. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying like that just great competition you have there.
Yeah, for sure. So the NE10, it's it's a very competitive conference. Um, w- I would say like there's a lot of schools like the first one that comes to my mind is like AIC. They recruit I think runners from like Kenya and stuff. So they get some of the best talent out there in the world, and it's like an honor to compete with schools like that. And it definitely motivates me and my whole team to like keep training pretty hard so that we can compete with them. And yeah, and then in terms of track as a whole, when it comes to like indoor meets and outdoor meets, we sometimes compete with like Division 1 schools, Division 3 schools. So we're facing the top competition no matter what. And with track, it's if you have the time, you're going to be able to compete with anybody. There's no like objective way you can compare the skills. If you have the time, you have the time, and you're either faster than the person that's next to you or you're not. So that's a big motivator too, and it's pretty unique to track as well.
Speaking with a bunch of athletes at Amherst and just around, right? COVID has been difficult for everyone. Everyone acknowledges that because there's always uncertainty about the season. Like my season got canceled, your season starting in April, right? So if you touched on this a little bit, I want you to touch on it a little bit more. Just kind of how you stayed motivated, right? Because it's hard for a lot of people to stay motivated when you're sitting in your house or sitting in your dorm with a lot of uncertainty going on and you don't really know if you're going to have a season or what it's going to be like. So talk a little bit about that because that's definitely not easy for anyone to do.
Yeah, so I think my biggest motivation this year was um I was lucky enough that my coaches and my teammates they named me the captain this year, and it was I feel like a long way from my sophomore year when I joined the team as a walk on, and then coming to this point it feels really nice. And I've always tried to kind of be a good example for my younger teammates, and I've always kind of told myself, and I've said to my teammates, like, just kind of treat this year just like any other year, and pretend like that we got a race next week. Just keep going, keep training hard, because even the training you might not feel it right now, but the hard work you put in now, it will pay off. And it does show in cross country for sure, with the because you can't just go into a race with the stamina takes months and weeks to build up, and the endurance and stuff. So if you're not ready, it'll show in the race. And I that's been my biggest motivator with my team, and it's been also a big challenge at the same time as well.
Well, I want to thank you again for coming on and just talking about a few topics with me. Obviously, it's always fun hearing about what you're doing up at Bentley because the definitely the grind of cross country slash track running is real, and I've seen it definitely from where I stand at Amherst College. My first 2 years being there, at least. So, thank you again for coming on, and wish you the best with everything, buddy. If you like that clip from the Shred Takes podcast show, I encourage you to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also, if you want to check out the full episode in its entirety, go to Apple Podcasts and Spotify to view the full episodes.